Chapter 5 Morphology of Flowering Plant. So we are starting with the chapter 5 Morphology of Flowering Plant. Morphology means external structure. As we have studied in chapter 2nd and chapter 3rd, that is in classification things, that we were classifying plants according to its morphology or according to the external structure. For example, in Thellophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Angiosperm, Gymnosperms, we were telling that if the plant contain the differentiation is not there between root, shoot and leaf and fruits, flowers. Secondly, the differentiation occurred. Thirdly, flower came, right? So we were classifying according to the morphology. So when we want to do a deep dive of the study of plants, we have to study few of the technical terms which is related to the flowering plant specifically, or which is related to a full grown plant. So first of all, we are starting with the root. Root is one of the part of the plants which is below the soil, right? Root is developed from a part called radicle. Maybe if you have seen, if there is a dicotyledon plant, or you can say dicotyledon seed in your house, that is mung seed, and the roots get developed, that is white colored root, it developed from radicle. If these radicle, if it grows continuously, for example, if I draw over here continuously, right, then it simply means that it is a taproot. Over here what happens is, this is a primary root which I am drawing it, then the secondary root comes, again a tertiary root comes, but these are never bigger than primary roots. So it is called as taproot system. It is normally seen in a mustard plant. In monocotyledon, what happened is, see, in dicot, as I have told, taproot is the major one. So you can write over in the textbook as a learning part, that you have to just make a note of it over here, that dicotyledon taproot system. Okay. Next one is, we are doing it is monocotyledon. In monocotyledon, what happened is, in monocotyledon, primary root is a very short, which is replaced by large number of roots. For example, it is a fibrous root system. So what do you mean by fibrous root system? It is seen over here. Primary root is small, then the secondary root becomes much bigger, right? So it is a fibrous root system where it is developing very not in a straight way. It is seen in a wheat plant. You can see in 5.2b, right? So you can see over here, this is 5.2a, this is 5.2b, right? In some plant, for example, like grass or in a banyan tree, the roots arise from part of a plant other than radicle, right? Normally root should arise from radicle itself, but many times roots not develop from radicle. That is called as adventitious root. The main function of these roots is to absorb the water and mineral from the soil, providing the proper anchoring to the plants and storing reserved food material and synthesis. So first and the foremost part of a root is, so first function of a root is to provide anchor, that means to support to the plant, right, as you can see over here. Secondly, to fetch up the minerals and water from the soil. Third, extra food should be stored, and synthesis of some plant growth regulators. So these are few functions of the roots which you are supposed to remember over here, right? So let us move to the next part of it. So the regions of root we are studying right now. So there are various regions of a root which you have to do. The first region is over here, root cap, you can see. So what do you mean by root cap? The last part or the uppermost part, the apex part, right, which is a thimble like structure, is a root cap. Its function is to protect the apex of the root, right? Actually, root has a protection called root cap. So it protects the apex or a last part of the root. It is only the way to the soil. It is connection to the soil. It is few millimeter above the root cap is the region of meristematic activity. So you can see over here, before root cap there is only few centimeter gap, which is a region of meristematic activity. So what do you mean by this? This region of meristematic activity, meristematic tissue means it is a developing tissue, it does the growth, right? So cell division takes place over here. Simply, here the cells is very small and the wall is very thin. It is very logical thing that if you want to do a cell division, your cell wall should be thin, you should have a higher amount of protoplasm so that you can get a much energy, they should be able to divide, right? We have studied a meristematic tissue, the apical meristem, right? Types of meristematic tissue, apical, lateral, in standard 9th, and this is correlating it. So it is apical meristematic tissue, right? So after that, the cell of elongation, here differentiation takes place, and after that the third part is a region of elongation. So what do you mean by this region of elongation? Once the meristematic tissue grows up, after that, after many times of cell division, it stops the process of it, right? So now it goes up and up. For example, see, if this is root, if here meristematic grown up, so it added one more tissue, again it added one more tissue, again it added one more tissue. So at last this become big. So whenever meristematic stops its activity, it makes a permanent type tissue. So here it is a region of elongation where a longer part is occurring, right? It gradually differentiate and now it matures up, right? So after region of elongation comes a region of maturation. So first of all, meristematic will do the cell division, elongation will make it long, right? And after that, when it stops the cell division, it comes into region of maturation. After these, the epidermal cell comes, which is very light and very delicate thread like structure, root hairs. So from region of maturation, the root hairs develop, and these root hairs will absorb the water. Understood? So this is the structure of or a region of a root. Next is how the modification of root takes place. See, roots changes their shape and structure according to its need, according to the function it need, right? For example, the first function, as I have told you, was absorption and conduction of water and minerals. It is a primary function of all the root. Every root does this, right? So every root does the absorption, it does the conduction of water and minerals, but sometimes it does the function of support, storage and respiration. Three things we are going to do. So support, storage and respiration. So let us start with the first one. See, taproot of carrot, turnip, adventitious root of sweet potato, they get swollen up and they make the food, right? This we have already learned in our previous standards also, right? That there are these type of root systems. For example, carrot, right? For example, you can say turnip, these are tap roots. We can get carrot and turnip from the root part. After that, second is a prop root. What do you mean by prop root? Right? These are the hanging roots of banyan tree, right? It gives us a strength to stand at their own place. Similarly, maize, sugarcane, they have a supporting root coming out of a lower node of stems, right? So these are supporting roots, these are steel root. So prop root is one, steel root is one. After that, in some plant they have got a rhizopore, right, which grows in a swampy area, that roots come on the ground. These are called as pneumatophores. Actually, whenever you have a ocean, right, nearby you have a ocean, so you don't have that soil which will give you oxygen or which will give you a food or everything. So what they do to take the oxygen, they develop a root before root, not underground but above the ground, they develop a root. So these are called as pneumatophores. So this was about the modification of roots.